All right, welcome to Lambo's Water Sports, featuring the Big Brother feature inside Sports Network. Totem Pole Nation, please like, comment, subscribe. If you need the merch, go on TotemPoleNation.com, TotemPoleSports.com, and look at the merch. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how in the world this happened. This is the Big Brother's second favorite team in UNC. They were at home. This game was played on was televised on the CW app, television, whatever it was. I wish I was watching this game, but I was paying attention to Alabama and Tennessee and Washington State and Oregon. Not that I don't watch it, but I had 2-3 games on at one time. It's very hard to juggle my brain and mind, especially when you're drinking a little bit. But I'm not sure how in the world UVA pulled off this upset. Now, am I shocked? Am I surprised? Yeah. I mean, UVA hasn't really been competitive all this year. They're going through some things. They don't have a great recruiting class. They went through a school shooting and all this other stuff last season, and the Tech game was canceled last year, obviously, which sucks. But, I mean, UVA is trying to make history. I'm not sure what the hell happened in UNC. Now, before you go on your little rant about how the hell they lost so bad, I just want to give credit to UVA for keep fighting. Now, they were up basically the whole entire game. I think they were up at one point, maybe 14-0, if I'm correct. And I don't know what happened. I thought the UNC defense would be a little bit better. Their defense was better this year than it was last year. And I guess the defense disappointed, and UVA found ways to win. Now, their quarterback situation, and Tony Muskett, he's okay. He did his thing. He turned the ball over one time. He did just enough. He's a senior. Obviously, he's from Springfield, Virginia. They ran the ball combined of 228 yards on the ground. And, of course, Malik Washington went off for 115 yards reception and 1 touchdown, 12 receptions. And Drake May, he always has a pick. Amari and Hampton ran the ball just fine. Tez Walker, like I said, congratulations NCAA. Fuck you too for not making him eligible maybe 6 weeks ago. But he had his numbers. 11 for 146. The defense of UNC let them down. You can go ahead, go and get rant about this. I'm just shocked as hell. What the hell just happened?
Yeah. It's funny because you remember earlier this year, I don't know if I talked about this on here or like when we were watching a game or something. When UVA was playing Maryland and they had the freshman quarterback in there, and I texted and I was like, damn, this dude's kind of cooking. And then he threw 3 straight interceptions like right after that. The QB situation at UVA is in a very tough spot. So Muskett hasn't played bad this year. He's gotten opportunities in 4 games. So obviously they're splitting the load. I don't know. I mean, he's playing all right, but the talent difference in this game is so large, it just pisses me off. And UNC football pisses me off too. Here's why. I get it. They're a basketball school. That's who I grew up liking as a kid in basketball. I never really paid attention to UNC football growing up. Basketball, because of my dad, that is who I followed. So I understand completely they are a basketball school. But you had a top 10 football team. That stadium was the most empty, dead atmosphere that I have ever seen for a top 10 team. There was like no one there. Now,
what?
Yeah, it was awful. So I understand that Tech is traditionally a football school, and like the Inner Sandman is a nationally known and recognized tradition. But damn, like pack your stands. We won 3 games last year, and we haven't had a home game where it hasn't been sold out in like 2 or 3 years. So what the hell? We have been awful for the past 2 or 3 years in a rebuild, obviously, going through a bunch of shit, and our fans continue to show out. And I'm not saying that UNC needs to be just as passionate as Virginia Tech, but damn, son, You were 10th in the country, and you had maybe 30%, 40% of your damn stadium filled just because it was the first day of fall break or second day of fall break. Like, I want to cuss a lot talking about this. Like, it just makes no sense to me that your fan base, if I wasn't concerned about future employers coming and watching this, I would go on just oh my God, like it pisses me off so much. I don't understand how your fan base can do this. Mac Brown, for the past, or since he's gotten to UNC, really has gotten the team to relevance, and then they disappear. They came into, I think it was 2 years ago. They were number 9, played Tech at home, folded. We won there. And like Tech is not the only example. Like we said last year, they lost to Georgia Tech. Like it happens, I feel like, just too frequently, considering what they brought in on the offensive side of the ball and then how well their defense has been playing this year, considering what they lost to transfer portal stuff. The defense has been playing great, and they let a dude that played at Monmouth University for 3 years come in and torch them. And the dude was a quarterback, and he punted as well at Monmouth. So this is like, he only punted a few times, but like it just it pisses me off so much, and it definitely comes from like my deep hatred of UVA. So I recognize that, but this game should not have been close. The way that we were talking about it before it started was, UNC. Let me just we didn't even really have to talk about it. Like I already had it typed in on the spreadsheet with our picks in it. Like I just wrote in UNC because I knew both of us, in no way in hell, we were going with UVA, and it just infuriates me. It hurts my soul to see UVA. They had one win. They had one win the whole year, and they beat number 10 UNC. Like, I think that speaks way more to UNC than it does UVA. Now, credit to UVA. They played well. Multiple dudes running the ball more than, they had 230 rushing yards. Drake May threw the ball at 50%. Now, he did put up 350, but he also had a turnover. And it was weird. And they were up at halftime too, 17-14 at halftime, and the defense came out flat. I don't know. The offense played well, I thought, minus Drake's inefficiency when it comes to completion percentage. But Amarian Hampton has been a beast all year. He put up 112. Drake May contributed another touchdown on the ground, so I think he had 3 total. Like you said, Tez Walker balled out. It hurts my soul, dude. It hurts my soul.
I hate UVA, so I mean,
so much, and it just.
I never wear anything UVA related, so there's nothing UVA related even in my house. I hate them for basketball. I really do. I still hate them from what they did to not what they did, but just in 2019, if I can go off topic, college basketball, that they won the national championship. Now,
yeah,
Kentucky
that team is dirty, though. I hate them, but I will give them credit.
I felt like if my Kentucky didn't lose to Kansas on my birthday in 2019, we could have came in and beat that UVA team if we didn't damn lose to Kansas that year. But that's a different story for later. So I never really liked UVA for basketball because, my God, some spoiled fans, because they won one national championship, and thank God they ain't won shit for the last 3 years. I'm just shocked that UVA is this good. Now, hopefully, they'll continue to be.
They're not, though. They've played like shit.
I know they're not good. I'm just saying they'll continue to improve. I'm not saying they're going to be like a 8-win team or some shit. They'll probably win maybe 4 games. They'll probably win one more game, and somebody else, sorry ass, they'll get smacked by Virginia Tech. Hopefully, because they lost. They beat Tech one year. What year did they beat Tech?
My freshman year. That was 2019
18 or 19?
19.
Oh, that was Fuente's 3rd year.
Yeah, that was rough. Me and my buddies went to that game at UVA, and we were in their student section. And
that
that
must
was
have
rough.
been fun.
That was rough. Well, there was a lot of shit talk. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of shit talk going on during the game. And obviously by the end, we were on the sad walkout while everyone is storming the field. So it was nice. Last year, or not last year, the year before, me and my buddies went back to Charlottesville, and we won there and we've won 20 of the past 21. So
yeah.
like, but yeah. But I don't know. See, I don't know if they're gonna win another game this year. I mean, they play Miami this week, then they've got Georgia Tech, Louisville, Duke.
They might be Georgia Tech. Georgia
Tech. I feel like Georgia Tech is really now. Obviously, rivalry game with us. There's always a chance something goes wrong, but I feel like Georgia Tech is their most realistic win this year, and that would put them at another 3-win season. So I don't know if they're like improving, but the recruiting class still sucks. It sucked last year.
I mean, I'll give them like 2-3 years. I'm just saying they have to believe in the coach. I think Tony Franklin, he did great in Clemson as an OC. They got to give him time as a head coach. He's in a terrible. He went to a terrible program. I mean, what they had?
Rebuilding
Bryson,
from the ground.
They had Harsin who went to they had Harsin. No. The head coach.
Oh.
I think they had Harsin. Did they have Harsin for like a while and then he retired?
Let me look.
It had to be Harsin. Or no, Harsin was at Auburn. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think it was that.
No, wait. What was his name? He stayed for like 6 seasons and retired. What the fuck was his name?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, wow. I know his name in my head.
Mike London.
No, not Mike London. After Mike London, he was a white coach.
Bronco Mendenhall.
Oh, yeah. Bronco Mendenhall. Yeah, Bronco Mendenhall. Yeah. They've been through. I'm saying for UVA, they got to give Tony Elliott some time because they went through a horrible shit with Mike London. I think they only had maybe what? Did they have a winning season with Mike London or not? Maybe one. No winning seasons.
Mike London was 27-46.
Oh Lord. Did they have a winning season with Bronco Mendenhall? I thought they had one.
I think so. Yeah, they went to a bowl game. They went to a bowl game.
Okay, so they had one. They had at least one. Maybe close.
He was 36-38. So
that's better. That's better than 27-48.
Yeah, very true.
That's better than 20. I just feel like for UVA, and I hate them too, but just for them to be at least we'll give them a mid-tier college football team. Let's just be mid-tier. They got to give Tony Franklin some time. They can't just fire him off the rip. He came in a tough job to take. They got to give him like the Matt Rule thing or like the Scott Frost thing in Nebraska. You got to give him like 5
what we do with Pry. Like we need to give Pry a window to make things happen, and I think we're on that path. Tony Elliott doesn't seem like they're on that path yet, but I agree with you. I think, well, he's got to step the recruiting up, and you've got to step the transfer portal stuff up because they had a bad transfer class. They lost their number one QB. Obviously, he has
They lost everybody. Did everybody they team hit the transfer portal last year? Like everybody on their team for UVA hit the transfer portal? Like they lost everybody.
It was a lot. Yeah. I mean, I do think that QB, the freshman QB they have will be good eventually, but he's not disciplined at all. He's got talent. He's fast too. And he's got an arm. He's just not disciplined. He puts the ball in harm's way. And obviously he throws a lot of picks because of that. And that's why he's not playing. It's why he's not starting. He's had his opportunity. He's just not ready yet. But I do think he'll be pretty good in the future. But yeah, the past coaches for UVA have just had a rough time. So Tony obviously inherited a very bottom tier program, as did Pry. I mean, it's just
I may have been wrong about firing Pry. Well, not personally. I don't want to fire him, but you know how the business is. Like it's what have you done for me lately, and we seen coaches get the trigger pulled on in like the third year. So I want Pride to stay. I think Pride's a great coach.
I think you see that more with programs that are already like developed and they're already established. Like we hadn't been to an ACC championship since 2016.
That was the first year for Wente. Well, I was surprised we even made it that first year.
Well, it was Beamer's team. It was Beamer's team, and we still had Bud Foster at DC as well. So the defense was great, and the offense still had really good pieces on it. Like from the quarterback room as well. Like up until I feel like Ryan Willis showed up.
Oh, that Ryan Willis shit was
awful. The thing is, he had balled out the year before at Kansas, and he came and in week 1 he put up like 350 in the air, but he also threw 2 interceptions. Like I remember that very vividly. So it's like once Willis came in, we were just on a very bad run of QBs, and that goes towards Fuente lack of recruiting, because once we ran out of the Beamer recruits and it was Fuente recruits, we had 4 stars dropped in places, but damn, we didn't have a quarterback until Hendon was there, and then he didn't want to play Hendon over Burmeister, and then
Burmeister, my God, the Oregon transfer. The dude that couldn't beat out Justin Herbert.
He's a wide receiver now.
Wow.
He's not even a quarterback anymore.
We wanted to play a guy in Virginia Tech. We wanted to play a guy that couldn't beat out Justin Herbert from Oregon. He couldn't beat out Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert is great, but it's like you picked that college. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Justin Herbert is great. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying from the Fuente mind, you really gonna pick a quarterback that's behind Justin Herbert? Like really?
I mean, it's the same thing with Kyron. Like Baylor sucks this year, and we got Kyron who didn't play like at all, but we saw the potential. And I guess Fuente kind of saw the potential in Burmeister's athleticism, but when it comes to just being a good passer, he wasn't it. Obviously, he went to San Diego State, lost that job, transfer or shifted into the wide receiver position. And then we also played Connor Blumrick when Burmeister was hurt. He finished his career as a tight end. So, like, after the Beamer recruits ran out and after Hendon left because of Fuente's negligence, we didn't have a quarterback really until Kyron started playing this year, because Grant sucked last year. He didn't start the year super well this year either. So I think from the Tech perspective, we're in a good way when it comes to the QB room, and tying it back to what this episode was originally about. I do think that UVA would also be in a similar way. Like, obviously, I have way more faith in Kyron and Pop, and then in Davi, like the next 3 QBs down our list. I have way more confidence in them in the future versus this freshman that we've seen just throw interceptions out of his ass every time he goes onto the field. So trust us more, but I will say that I think UVA, give them a couple years, they'll be maybe back to like a 6-win team. I think it's going to take a while, though, to get this program from where they are now to back to where they were like 2019 when they made a bowl game.
Yeah. It's going to be a while. It might be about 20 years. Probably.
And then UNC might be in trouble too, though, because I don't know who is behind Drake.
Oh, yeah. If he come out this year, if he comes out this year.
He's definitely going. He's definitely going. You can't – I don't think he can risk the injury factor when you're going to be like a top 5, top 10 pick. So, I mean, like you do make a lot of money from NIL perspective, especially him being one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But I feel like the money that you'd be making for a couple, like one more year, is not worth sacrificing an NFL contract, and especially a top 10 NFL contract. I mean, that's 5 years of financial security for you right there, just from that perspective. And then honestly, what a top 10 pick gets now, like if he wanted to and he managed his money right, he wouldn't have to work another day in his life after those 5 years. Now, obviously, I think we both think that Drake will have a successful NFL career. So it's not just going to be those 5 years of that contract. But under the assumption that he's like a top 10 pick, I think it's way better of an option to go this year than it would be to stay. And it's the same thing with Caleb. Like, even though Caleb's dropping a few, like he's played poorly in a few games, and I know we'll get to that, but like I kind of think that him wanting ownership was bullshit. I think someone just put that out there because like Tom Brady couldn't do it. They're not going to let Caleb Williams do it. What are you talking about? Like like Tom tried to do it with the Dolphins, and that's why the Dolphins lost their picks in the draft last year. And that's, like they tried to do it, and the NFL was like, no, you can't do this. Like, you can't. And it's the same thing they talked about earlier this year when he was in the Raiders locker room, because he's a minority owner for them now. Someone on Twitter was like, oh, does this mean Brady's coming back? And it was like, no, actually, you can't play or be employed at all by the team that you have ownership in. You are an owner. You cannot be a coach. You can't be an OC, and you damn sure can't be the quarterback. So I don't know why Caleb will. If that was a real story, I don't know why he would think that he's the exception. Because people are very high on him, and he is very good. But I saw a tweet that was talking about how like one of the best college quarterbacks ever, and it was like, yeah, let's back up.
Ever?
That's what it said. This was like a notable account that like has thousands and thousands of followers that posted this. I don't remember exactly what the account was, but they brought that up, and my first thought was like, says who? Like, says who? Why? Just because NFL scouts are like pretty high on him, then he's the best of all time. Like, Anthony Richardson was
we said that about Johnny Manziel, and Johnny Manziel was a bust in the NFL.
But Johnny Manziel, I feel like, was a better college quarterback. I don't know if he was better in every facet, but I feel like he had better parts of his game than Caleb Williams does. And obviously we know why Johnny failed in the NFL. But I mean, look at Tebow. Look at like Michael. He wasn't better than Michael Vick at Virginia Tech. Are you kidding me?
He won't.
No shot. The only reason Mike didn't win Heisman was because he was a freshman, and they didn't give Heisman to freshmen. Like, it was like an unspoken rule at that time that you don't give the Heisman to a freshman. And that was the case, and whatever. But for that to be said and like liked and retweeted by a very, very followed account on Twitter, I was pretty taken aback, because like I was like, dude, you can name 5 or 6 guys probably if you just sat down and wanted to think about it. Like, in like 2 minutes, I'm sure you could come up with at least a handful of guys that you would potentially take over him. Like, we just named 3 right there.
Yeah, we did. We did name 3. Next episode we got to get into is Utah won in the final minute. Now, I regret picking this USC pick, but they changed quarterbacks. Bryson Barnes. Now, if they had Nate Johnson, I went, USC, and I thought Nate Johnson was going to start. Bryson Barnes. They had a passing quarterback. Utah needed to throw the ball a little bit effective. There it goes. USC loses 2 straight, loses to Notre Dame, and now loses to Utah for the 3rd time in 2 seasons. All right? We will talk about that next. Should Lincoln Riley make any staff changes would be part of that, and also what's the program and direction of USC without Caleb Williams? We'll talk about that next. Lambo's Word of Sports. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Lambo's Word of Sports, Total Pole Nation. We will catch you later for you.